Welcome back into the Bettor half hour. Do we have a treat for you? Joining me, a New York-based sports lawyer, also co-hosts a sports law podcast, Dan Luss, in the building with me. Dan, great to be with you, sir.
My pleasure, Alex.
All right, I want to get your legal perspective on what's happening with WNBA star Brittney Griner and a illegal substance she had in Russia, which has her currently detained. Explain to our audience what exactly is going on with her.
Yeah, I guess we could start with the substance at issue, right? It's the alleged transportation of hashish through an airport. I think there was of a vape pen. But as you know, when you travel internationally, right, especially in a country like Russia, that's something you want to stay away from. So Brittney Griner, obviously one of the biggest stars in the WNBA, currently plays for the Phoenix Mercury and also plays, in her offseason for a team in Moscow. Really, maybe we'll call it the New York Yankees of Moscow, a team that's featured Brittney Griner, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Brianna Stewart. Really a heavy-hitting Moscow team, and those guys pay her $1.5 million compared to a closer salary around $200,000 domestically. So people, Alex, are kind of asking why she was overseas in Russia. I mean, money talks, right? She's got to earn a living, and that's why she was there to play basketball.
And as far as a trial goes, Dan, with her, what is the timeline for her to be able to get to a judge and try to get some sort of verdict here?
Yeah, so Russian laws operate obviously very differently than they do over here. There's no, I don't think there's a real equivalent to like right to a speedy trial. You could be held up there for a long time, right? The same concept of due process that applies here does not necessarily apply in Russia. And in terms of, the sentencing here, there's talk about the amount of drugs involved here could really equate to a potential 10-year sentence overseas. So, it's not looking great. But, in our sports history, maybe a situation as recently as like 2018, 2019, LiAngelo Ball got in trouble in China for that sunglass incident. People remember when he was playing at UCLA. So politicians, as they did back then, are starting to get involved now in trying to, orchestrate her return. But I don't know how quickly this will get wrapped up. I'm sure, the Russian political situation might slow things down some.
And what would you say the possible outcomes are for her when she goes to trial?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that this doesn't make it all the way to trial. I think, that our politicians step up and probably make a move sooner rather than later, right? The issue, at least if this happened domestically, if someone was charged with a crime that could result in 10 years prison sentence, they would take something, maybe like a plea deal, right? Maybe they would admit some type of guilt and maybe they would serve some type of community service and whatnot. But when you accept or admit to any type of crime overseas, there's no guarantee that you're coming back. So, I would be very hard pressed if this got to a trial. That would take a long time. But again, right, we're in a weird time in the country. I don't think it would shock anybody if this thing got delayed for a long time, right, if this got delayed indefinitely. So, I think most likely scenario, she comes back, the politicians jump in. But, sadly, it's still too early to tell at this point.
Thank you so much, Dan, for joining us. Always a pleasure having you. Make sure to check out his podcast, Conduct Detrimental. We'll see you next time.